we make the sound of the satellite, breaking through gravity. I am Jagger 67. I'm affected, you're selected. I want you with your twisted hair and your lip ring stare.
The first half of Season 7 comes to a close here at Brno, and the pressure is beginning to rise. Welcome to the legendary Brno circuit, a fast-flowing challenge that has tested drivers for generations, and today hosts a crucial chapter in this year's ISR AIC Championship fight. Because after 4 rounds, our story continues to dominate the paddock. Elliot Hall leads the championship. The rookie sensation has stunned the paddock once again, claiming his second pole position of the season, and in doing so securing a remarkable 3 consecutive pole positions for Nemesis Racing Team. What started as a promise is rapidly becoming something much more serious. But now comes the real test. Mid-season pressure, championship expectation, and a grid full of experienced drivers desperate to stop the momentum before Hall and Nemesis take things to complete control. Jack Tolchard remains within striking distance, Joshua Wood needs a response, and if Christian Braslov is going to respond, it needs to be soon. Welcome back to the paddock with me once again, Craig Evans.
Hello Toby, and thanks so much for having us again. I'm looking forward to what we have in store today at the Brno circuit. It's a nice wide, relatively fast circuit in places, quite suited to GT cars, so we'll be looking to see how these wheelers get on around here today. And as you said, we've got Elliot Hall on pole position for the 3rd time this season, but he has only got 1 win, so let's see if he can convert that and take the lead in the wins category. But here we are into turn 1 on his pole lap, absolutely flying around this first corner, can get a lot of speed through there into a little kink for turn 2, relatively medium speed corner for turn 3. You can probably send it up the inside if you're a little bit brave, so we'll have to look for moves there as we come through turn 4 now, and a short straight down to turn 5, which is a downhill braking. So again, a key corner for those guys looking to attack and defend. You want to get your braking spot on and carry as much speed here as you can to avoid anybody catching you unawares. Got a little technical section now into turn 6 and 7 before a short burst towards turn 8, where we have a couple more S-bends similar to Suzuka, but maybe a little bit tighter around here as we're coming through turn 9 now. And again, we've got another little straight here. There's a few sections of the circuit where you can build up a little bit of speed, but then you've got a relatively hard braking zone where you have to watch for anybody going to make a move. A little bit twitchy there through turn 10 for Elliot, but he's managed to gather up nicely. And we're uphill now into turn 11, another sort of S section on the circuit as he's getting the rear, losing a little bit on the cambered corners. Right at turn 12, this is probably the longest straight, give or take, on the circuit. It's quite there's quite a few straights of similar lengths here as we come into turn 13, quite fast in these cars right here. And turn 14, getting on the throttle a little bit too early, but it hasn't affected Elliot here as he's getting his 3rd pole of the season in a row, as you said, Toby.
Fantastic stuff from Nemesis Racing Team, the Season 4 champions really coming back to form, and it's Elliot Hall and an all-star grid with Joshua Wood alongside him. Both of these drivers are the only 2 this season to take 2 pole positions. This is really the dogfight we've been looking forward to this season, and it's our front row today. Olaf Odben will line up P3, and then race winner Craig McDonald, won in Sepang of course. He is lining up in P4, looking to bounce back from a series of unlucky races. Reinhard Ecker gets his best result of the season so far in a P5 from qualifying, and Gareth Lennon edges out just outside of the top 5. He'll be looking to try and make improvements and get his season underway. Colin McAllister, another season best qualifying for the Scotsman, lines up in P7. He's just ahead of Craig McDonald's brother Tom McDonald, who is struggling a little bit compared to his brother so far this season. Philip Blum secures another inside top 10 qualifying, and we'll be hoping for no mechanical gremlins, and then Season 5 champion Douglas Anderson will line up in P10. Christian Braslov, the defending champion, needs to respond if it's going to be soon. If it's going to be this season, he lines up P11, he'll need to make inroads. And then last week's race winner, Jack Tolchard, in P12. Just behind them is Ed Cantwell lining up in P13. He's ahead of Zach Swader, really having a miserable start, looking to try and get some points onto the board. Got his first points in Bahrain, of course. Marcus Townend lines up P3 in the championship, and it's only P15 today. He's got a lot of work to do. He's alongside Season 2 number champion Josh Martin. Toby Byrne lines up P17, a miserable season for the Brits so far, and Andrew Vieira ways off his teammate all the way down in 14th in the championship compared to his teammate who currently sits in 6th. He'll be wanting to improve today. Jonathan Guerrero still yet to score a point this season, and it doesn't look like today is going to be easy. It's P19. He's ahead of Craig Evans in P number 20. A good result last time out, but this is a disappointing qualifying. Bringing up the rear of the grid though is Carl Spencer P21, and from hero to zero, last week's pole sitter Kevin Jacobs couldn't convert the win in Bahrain, and he's paid ultimately with a poor qualifying for P22 here today at Brno. This is of course the debut of the Czech Republic Grand Prix within the ISR AIC. It's the first ever race around Brno, and the original circuit was opened in 1930 and was over 18 miles long. It's not hosted an F1 Grand Prix since 1949, Craig mentioning it's more for GT cars, but our boys will put the circuit through its paces today, I am sure. So we get ready for 5 red lights. Here the tension building, Elliot Hall on the left, Josh Wood on the right, lights down the way we go, not held for very long there whatsoever, and it looks like Elliot Hall has got a pretty decent start and is looking to defend on the inside. He doesn't even need to defend, he's miles ahead, and Josh Wood under a little bit of pressure from Olav Odven behind, who's looking to try go up the inside. Olav Odven, Josh Wood side by side. We were talking about Josh Wood had phenomenal pole positions at the start of the season, but he's had a poor start here today, and he's immediately under further pressure from Reinhard Ecker. Colin McAllister looking to try and make it a little bit of free wide going into that corner as well, but nothing doing, pulls out of it. Reinhard Ecker still now looking on the outside to try go around Josh Wood to move up into the podium places. Can he pull it off? Side by side action, no, he's going to try the dummy, go to the inside now. Colin McAllister is making a late move, trying to get up in on the action. He'll go up the inside of Reinhard Ecker for P number 5. Is he going to be able to pull it off? Side by side action as we go through into the middle sector. A little bit of a drift from the Scotsman. We're well and truly underway. That's an aggressive start for McAllister.
Very aggressive start. He's on the softer tyre as well, as we have a virtual safety car halfway through the first lap. But yes, McAllister is on the softer tyre, so he's not going to want to work it too hard, otherwise he's not going to get many laps in it. But this is time to take a breath, Toby, as we've got the virtual safety car. Hopefully we'll find out what it is shortly. But Jonathan Wood's not had much luck so far this season, bar his win at the start, so he's needing to up his game a little bit. He's got the pace, he just doesn't have the luck. But on board with Olav Odden here for the start. He didn't get as good a start as the two boys in front of him, but going into turn 1, he's a little bit braver on the brakes than Josh Wood. Josh Wood seems to have got scared a little bit around the outside, but he's got the wider line, which means he should have a better run, but he just wasn't able to get the traction, and Odden has snuck up the inside there, and then obviously going to fight it around the outside of the next corner, and he manages to make it stick on board with Colin McAllister now on the line. He's getting a little bit of wheel spin as well, but he's made up a position straight off the bat there to the driver from his left, and he's just slotting in nicely. But he has made a nice start. Up the inside he goes now. We've got I think that's Ecker in front of him, one of the McDonald cars as well, and he's got past 2 into turn 1. So McAllister's had an absolutely fantastic start, and he's looking to make more positions here, Toby, as we've got the virtual safety car still continuing. He's looking up the inside, just trying to follow through a little bit. Richie there, cold tyres at the start. We've seen a few people sliding around, and I think we're going to see what I was talking about. The preview was braking down here into turn 5. It could be key in this race, and McAllister was looking to make it key for his start. As we get up the inside, it just wasn't able to get the power down as quick as he liked, but it's all looking pretty feisty.
Definitely a very feisty start from the Scotsman, as we'll move on to Douglas Anderson. Douglas Anderson, we said, qualified in P10. He's looking to go up the inside of last week's race winner, Jack Tolchard. I believe he started ahead of Tolchard, so looks like Douglas Anderson's had a tricky start. He's lost a few positions off the line, but trying to make some dividends by trying to get back past Tolchard. Nothing doing on the outside, and very similar to McAllister. He's looking, but he's from a lot further back than McAllister, and ooh, he just, wow, really assaults the curb on the inside of Tolchard, and that spins the car around, and I'm wondering if there was an ulterior problem there, because it looks like he might be out of the race. But we're back to racing nevertheless. Green flag once again, and off we go. And it looks like McAllister's lost a little bit of touch with Reinhard Ecker following that initial getaway from the virtual safety car, as everyone losing grip, looking for tyre temperature through that very tricky corner. And Christian Vrazilov trying to make dividends by getting past Gareth Lennon on the start, but nothing doing. He's now under a little bit of pressure from Philip Blum as a failure to get past Gareth Lennon. Up the inside goes Philip Blum. It'll turn to the outside as we come onto the start finish straight. Is Philip Blum able to pull it off? Yes, he is. All the way around the outside. Brave move by Philip Blum to hold on to it, but that battle's not over yet. Christian Vrazilov has the run. He has the inside line for turn 1, and this is the racing this circuit produces, because it allows you for switchbacks. It allows for multiple lines. It's designed on a motorbike philosophy, and Christian Vrazilov holds on to that position. Very good stuff from the champion, Craig.
That was lovely kind of defending and attacking at the same time there, as we're now looking at Tom McDonnell. He's just sitting on the edge of the points there. He's got the likes of Swader, Townend. Swader's actually made up a lot of positions there. I think he's 15th he started, he's up to 11th at the moment, so he's had a fantastic start there. As we look further down the order, we've always got 3 wide into turn 5. Is that Josh Martin looking at the inside, but not quite able to make it stick. Ed Cantwell looks to make a move on his teammate Jack Tolchard, but there is, as you said, the way the circuit's designed, there's a lot of kind of medium speed corners where you can carry quite a bit of speed into it, and there's a lot of different lines that these guys can take. And yeah, it's going to be hard to defend, as we can see a little move in the background there. I think it's Carrero defending from Evans in the background as we're looking at Andrew Paveri here. He's been one of the more unlucky drivers over the last couple of seasons, and he's looking to maybe get some more points on the board for the GR1 Mobile team. As we're back to the front of the grid now with McAllister closing down Ecker here, trying to make the most of these soft tyres. There's 2 of the guys on the medium tyres. That's Ecker and McDonald. There's a lot happening here. I don't know if something's gone down on the circuit, Toby, or these guys just aren't able to get the temperature into these tyres, but they are fishtailing everywhere, and McAllister wasn't even able to capitalise it in the end.
Pressure for Gareth Lennon, and he's saved by DeBell. Virtual safety car is called, and he was under pressure there from Christian Vrazilov. We'll keep an eye on these two because they need to make sure that Lennon is ahead when the safety car line comes into effect. But let's have a look and find out why we are under this virtual safety car. Riding on board with Zach Swader, having a bit of a miserable season compared to season 6 where he finished 2nd, and there we go. Like you say, people struggling a lot around this corner, and Zach Swader's fallen foul of it, and there is a JSR coming to give us a friendly beep. I wonder if he's got stuck as well. I'm not sure who that is. It'll be Carrera or Sven. It looks like it might be Carrera. So Carrera driving here. Do we see Swader go off? Up ahead, we see a lot of people having a very similar issue, and yeah, there's the scene of the crime. Does he get... There's another car off there. Well, it looks like his sim staff. Trying to think, Carrera does manage to get the car free and gets away with it, gets a very lucky escape. And it looks like Zach Swader might be caught on the barrier there, Craig, and he looks like he might have fallen foul a little bit of that as we get ready for the restart any moment now, I assume. But yeah, very interesting stuff going on in that undulating corner, Craig. I'm going to have to watch out for that, because I don't know, like you say, if something's on the track or if it's just a lack of tyre temperature.
Yeah, it's quite it's an off-cambered corner, which these cars just don't seem to be enjoying. As we've got Lennon here, he seems to have held his position, which was it Blum that was behind him? I'm not 100% sure. We can double check that later on. But yeah, that corner seems to be causing a little bit of havoc for these guys. We'll see how they cope with it over the next few laps. They've gone through it twice now, so they know what to expect. They know how the car reacts. So we'll see what they can manage. We've got Lennon here just following through, trying to get a good run on Razilov, but in doing so, he's hindered himself, and I think we've got to watch for Blum in the mirror here. He's right behind him. It's not quite, he's half-hearted, just kind of poking his nose just to scare Lennon out the way, but he's not made a move there. But I'm just looking at the timings on the left. Elliot Hall is 4.5 seconds clear at the front of this field, and could we be on for a debut champion? This is maybe too much to think about for him at the moment, but he is absolutely flying away at the front, and I just don't see anybody catch him with the pace that he's showing so far this season, Toby.
Elliot Hall has had a fantastic start to the season. We talked about his debut victory came in Tokyo in a wet-to-dry thriller, and that is probably the hardest race you could have asked for Elliot Hall this season, and he has really took to it. He really went and dominated that race, so great stuff from the rookie, and it looks like more good things coming from the rookie so far in season number 7. As we come through the tricky corner again, we have everybody sliding around, and another virtual safety car is deployed. We'll have a look around and see if we can find what that is. It looks like we might be down a CGM. It looks like Gareth Lennon's teammate McAllister. Shame for him. Fantastic start. Was looking really aggressive on the super soft compound of tyres. It looks like he might be back in the pits, so that might be a retirement for the Scotsman, which is a real shame because it was our only super soft runner inside the top 10. I was really looking forward to seeing what strategy would happen here today, but we're going back to green flag conditions. Quickly cleared up whatever that was going on for McAllister, and we immediately have action down the start-finish straight. We have McDonald looking to the inside. He's under pressure though from Ed Cantwell. It's free wide into turn 1. Ed Cantwell up the inside, and Tom McDonald looking like he loses 2 places in a single straight. Now Philip Blum getting sideways action on the exit of turn number 1. He's now under a little bit of pressure from Ed Cantwell. As a result, Ed Cantwell looks to the inside. Can he pull off 2 moves in the space of 2 free corners? No, he cannot. It is side-by-side action once again, and Philip Blum holds his nerve. It's a poor restart for Tom McDonald. We see Andrew Pavia moving up on Josh Martin in the rear-view mirror. It's not all roses for Tom McDonald just yet. We have Toby Byrne and Josh Martin going side-by-side into the next corner as well. Very feisty restart from these gentlemen. Byrne on the super soft compound Husqvarna tyres will have a better tyre warm-up and will be able to get on the power much earlier, but obviously those tyres are a bit more fragile, so they need to make the most of them before they run out, as you say. But we move on, and looks like everybody falls back into single formation. Very feisty start. Ed Cantwell is the big winner on that restart, and Jack Tolchard has fallen down to 18th. Last week's race winner. He's only 5 points away from Elliot Hall in the championship, Craig, and he's looking like he's in real trouble. Elliot Hall's leading the race, and he's nowhere near the points, and he's falling further backwards as we see Callum Spencer putting one on Craig Evans up the inside. That was very nice, and that was good. It looks like Byrne has got past Josh Martin as well as we head into the next corner, and everybody doing the slip and slide once again. I'm not sure what's going on in this corner, but that's caused a huge bunch-up effect, and Callum Spencer in the right place at the right time has picked up another couple of positions, and it's allowed him to go side-by-side action with Toby Byrne heading towards the final sequence of corners. Callum Spencer on an absolute charge, started in P21 here today. He's going around the outside of Byrne. Can he make it P11? It's side-by-side, it's not quite P11, it is P11 now as Andrew Pavia pits. We have smoke on the rear exit of the final corner, and Callum Spencer up 10 positions in 5 laps, and chaos is playing a little bit of it, but an experienced veteran in Callum Spencer, Craig, is exactly what you need on a day like today.
Most definitely, that's two stalwarts of the championship there, and Spencer and Byrne going head to head, and Spencer coming out on top on this occasion, winning a little bit with that action that's happening at turn 11. He seemed to be at the right place at the right time to pick off the drivers that were struggling through there. But yeah, as you say, I think Jack Tolchard, when Swader went out earlier on lap 2, I think that was Tolchard was the car that you've seen facing the, well, not quite the wrong way, but sideways, as we see Craig Evans and Josh Martin come together. And Martin seems to be dropping down the order there. I'm pretty sure he was battling for 11th just a moment ago, and now he is scrapping out for 13th place, trying to keep the NLR car behind him, and he seems to have done it for now. But what manoeuvres Spencer's made moving up through the field, and he is we've got Elliot Hall's been in the pits, Toby, as far as I can see. I was just looking at the standings to see who's on the soft tyres. Elliot Hall has pitted and come out in 9th place, so it'll be interesting to see what his pace is in the soft tyre. Spencer here, as you can see now, right behind McDonald, he's the one runner that's not pitted yet on the soft tyre, so we'll see what kind of pace he's got moving forward and how much he can last in here. But McDonald seems to be dropping a little bit further back as well, pace-wise. Every time he gains a position through people falling foul of something, he seems to give it up again and just sits back in 10th. But yeah, I don't think he's got too much pace, and he's going to have to watch for these guys coming fast behind him, especially with the pit stops coming up as well. So we see Callum Spencer here. Is he going to carry on another lap on the soft tyres? He is. As we've got McDonald pitting in on the mediums, Lemon's in as well, Philip Blum's on the pits too. So Spencer is making these tyres work. He's happy with them. Doesn't matter how much wear's going on. He is enjoying what he is getting out of them, as we've got Reinhard Ecker now looking to chase down Josh Wood. They're currently in the podium positions, but that's just provisional at the moment while we wait for the pit stops to sort everything out. And Elliot Hall's still got the fastest lap at the moment. We'll see what kind of pace he can do with these soft tyres, and where he features compared to the rest of the field, because they get about a 5-second gap when he went into the pits. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he feeds when they come out. And we've got a few drivers going onto the C2 tyre, Toby. It's a lot of the bottom half of the field going on to something that I don't think we were expecting today.
It's a much harder compound of tyre than what we have seen, as you say. It's the medium, effectively. Obviously C1 being the hardest compound of tyre available, all the way up to C5, which is the very fast but very fragile ultra soft tyre, which we don't really see outside of qualifying. But we have Jonathan Carrera in P10, still yet to pit, looking for his first points. Still the only driver, P number 22 in the championship, the only driver not to score any points, and we're at the midway point, and this is unheard of for Jonathan Carrera. He's been, like you say, a stalwart in the championship for the previous 2 seasons. He finished second in season number 5. He won the final race of season number 6, and it's just been a miserable start. And I think JSR have really struggled with this car. Both drivers driving around towards the back of the field in the very beautiful yellow Jordan tribute livery, and they'll be wanting more to come for it. So this is Elliot Hall starting to make his way past Joshua Wood. Was running in P2, I believe, after Elliot Hall pitted, so P3 overall, and you can see the distance, Craig, that Elliot Hall has managed to put on Joshua Wood, and that is the kind of gap we're likely to expect him to put on Olav Odven and Reinhard Ecker as well. So Joshua Wood feeds back out into P number 7, and he'll want to get things underway pretty quickly because he has cold tyres. He's on cold hard medium tyres, out of the pit lane, and Jonathan Guerrero on the fast, warmed up, admittedly worn, but warmed up soft tyres is all over the back of him, and Josh Wood cannot afford to get involved in a scrap with Jonathan Carrera and Jack Tolchard, because he has Reinhard Ecker and Craig McDonald still within his pit window, so he needs to get those tyres fired up and drive away from Carrera, which it looks like he might just start to do now. We have Ed Cantwell, who's also pitted, as well as Christian Vrazilov, so this is for position overall. He's chasing down the defending champion just for the final points, but they will move up a certain few positions once other people pit, as we have Josh Martin following Toby Byrne around, as well as we just wait to see what happens once our top three, Olav Oddven, Reinhard Ecker and Craig McDonald, come into the pits, as we have still Craig. Joshua Wood is not being able to run away from these two, as Jack Tolchard looks for a late move on Jonathan Carrera. That will help Josh Wood as these two start scrapping, but no, nothing doing, and still pressure very much on Josh Wood's shoulders.
Safety car boards and flags, safety car boards and flags.
Virtual safety car again, Toby. We just went through turn 11. I didn't see a car off, so maybe it's not turn 11 this time. But just while we wait to see what's happened there, I was going to highlight Callum Spencer again, still going out on the soft tyre, setting the fastest lap and catching Elliott Hall pace-wise, as we're on board with Colin McAllister. There's a car in front just puffing a pile of smoke, but that's not the problem. Colin McAllister's the problem, as he's trying to catch it there. A few other cars managing to catch it, but McAllister not able to do so. So we've got a nice few power slides at the back there. If they weren't racing, that would look fantastic, wouldn't it? But not for Colin McAllister. Don't know if we'll find out if he's still going or not, but we're on board with his teammate now, Gareth Lennon, who, well, looks like a failure rear right. I thought he just got a little bit too much carb, but it looks like something has gone on the rear right, whether it was suspension or a puncture, because the front left is in the air and it shouldn't be. As we see here now, nice camera looking at the back of the car, just seeing what happens. And it was a tyre delamination. Look at that, completely gone. Not even a puncture, just completely delaminated, and that is absolutely unlucky for Gareth Lennon. Another driver, when you think about it, hasn't had a lot of luck in this season or previous seasons. And yeah, he is out of the race, I'm afraid to say.
That's brutal lap for CGM Motorsport, because that's both drivers out. I think that was actually McAllister a little bit earlier who went out, and I think this virtual safety car, Craig, has played hugely into Olav Oddven's hands. Olav Oddven has cruised back out of the pits ahead of Elliott Hall. We resume racing once again. Still these gentlemen not pitting and choosing to chase Joshua Wood instead, just to make his life that much more stressful. Jonathan Carrera may be thinking he has a bit better pace if he stays in the DRS of a car with fresh tyres. But Olav Oddven, the big talking point here, Craig, under that virtual safety car, he's actually popped out ahead of Elliott Hall with a 2-second gap. Elliott Hall has all the tyres. We know he's had the pace this weekend. He's got to make the overtake on the track. The cards are stacked against him, as we see Jack Tolchard finally looking like he might have an opportunity on Jonathan Carrera, sending it up the inside. Side-by-side action for last week's race winner and the final Season 6 winner, but no, nothing doing on this occasion. Big slide. And gentlemen, you've been on these tyres for 8 laps. If you're going to be doing something like this, you really need to come in and get some fresh real estate. But this is it. Elliott Hall, Craig, is caught up to Olav Oddven already. We've talked about how fast his pace has been all weekend, but Olav Oddven will have struggled this lap to warm these tyres up, and Elliott Hall needs to capitalise very soon.
Yeah, he really does. I think he's got it in him. It's more a case of when rather than if. So we'll keep on board with these guys and see where they're going. Ecker's in the pits now, so he's obviously had still to pit. Evans, Carrera, Tolchard are the other 3 drivers that are yet to pit. Spencer's came out in 9th place, so he's had a good run thanks to the pit stops. So we've got Elliott Hall now trying to get a good run out of that final corner. Wasn't quite able to do it, but he will have DRS down the straight here, and we'll see if he's going to make a move into turn 1 or not, as this has now become the battle for the race lead, with Ecker coming out of the pit lane just behind him by the looks of it. So he's kind of won with that virtual safety car a little bit as well, or staying out a little bit further. But this battle for the lead now is going to hot up as Elliott Hall looks to make a move up the inside into turn 3, and that was simple. He just made that look absolutely easy, and it's a case of now how far ahead will he be come the end of this race, as we've got a few other drivers making their pit stops and coming out of the pits now. But again, I hate to come back to this. Callum Spencer, 6th place, Toby. We mentioned at the start, was he not on the back row? Did he not start 21st? And he has gone up into 6th place in this race, which is absolutely fantastic for him. Shout for driver of the day. He's going to push Elliott Hall to that one, but that is absolutely fantastic. And Elliott Hall is already 2 seconds ahead of Olav Oddven, and he's done half a lap since he's passed him, so that's absolutely insane. As we're looking at Ed Cantwell now putting Razilov under a little bit of pressure as a lock up there, as they're both fighting away for 7th place. But Elliott Hall's pace is just unmatched, Toby. It's just unreal.
absolutely clinical driving from, as you say, Callum Spencer and Elliot Hall. That move was so decisive, it was so easy to our eye, it was very clinical, and I have to compare it to a very simple like of Max Verstappen, a very simple like of Lewis Hamilton, and this is a rookie that we're talking about, and he's making such quick and clean moves that are just so easily fought out. He didn't even give Olav Odvin a chance. I half believe Olav Odvin did not expect Elliot to make a move there. Of course he had tyre warm-up issues, but he's already dropped back to 4.5 seconds. We talked about Elliot Hall's pace this weekend has been astronomical, and he's really at tune. He's one with machine with the Nemesis Racing cars. Everyone comes through to another slip and slide. It's been a couple of laps, but we've had another one. I think we might have a car off on the side there. We'll have to see if they get away with it. Racing allowed to continue, not anymore. Virtual safety car is called. Everything's just put under pause for a minute while we check everybody is all right. Let's have a look. Did anyone DNF? Didn't look like anybody did, but Craig Evans is limping back and licking his wounds, so maybe it was Craig Evans who had the little bit of a spin, and aside from pride, he has got back a win and he's got away with it. So he's kept it out of the gravel, he's kept it out of the wall. Always good to see the two Scuderia Alitalia boys going side by side, competing on the restart. Marcus Townend to the inside. Byrne looks to see if he can get back up the inside, but no. Marcus Townend moves up into P12. He's now under a little bit of pressure. It's Byrne from Kevin Jacobs behind, but hold on to it. And another good, decent performance. Kevin Jacobs, of course, moving up from latter ends of the grid. P22 behind Callum Spencer. It's not been as impressive, but he's moved up into P14. So the Nemesis Racing car for me definitely has pace. It's definitely a car above and beyond what we've seen from Nemesis Racing since season 5. Season 5 wasn't even that great, to be honest. They had a couple of, I think they had one pole position. So this car is very reminiscent of their season 4 dominance as we watch. Looks like Olav Odvin is really struggling on this hard compound, Craig. He's under pressure now. He's fallen 7 seconds back from Hall, and he's actually on position. He's actually not completely risk-free from falling off the podium here, because Craig McDonald is a couple seconds back if anything between these two go wrong, but Reinhard Ecker is now charging for the runners-up spot.
Yeah, it's not been a good pit strategy. Well, it's been a good pit strategy for Odvin. He managed to actually come out in the race lead, but I wonder if it was maybe would have been a better option for them to go into the softer tyre, because we've seen a few runners at the first part of the first half of the race do quite well on it and go quite a distance. So yeah, this hard compound tyre seems to be quite a difficult one to master, as we can see with, well, unlike Elliot Hall, who's running away with it now. But he's just going to have to watch, because like you said, Ecker's right there, McDonald's right there, and speaking of McDonald, look who's in 10th place. Tom McDonald is still sitting in 10th place. No matter what happens in this race, that seems to be where he wants to be. But yeah, his brother is up into 4th and possibly on for a podium, as we've got Razilov here now closing in with Callum Spencer. He's not got quite the pace as he did earlier in the race on that soft compound tyre, does Spencer, so we'll have to see how he gets on and hopefully keep that 6th place and kind of kickstart a little bit of his season, because he's been unlucky so far. But he's got Razilov and Cantwell not too far behind him, going to put him under pressure, and those boys have been battling away for most of this race as well. So that's a battle Spencer's not going to want to get involved in, but if they keep battling, he might get a little bit of breathing room. But as things stand at the moment, it's everyone's kind of following the status quo. Nobody wants to make too much of a move just yet. We've got the last lap coming up just in a moment, as McDonald is now putting Ecker under a bit of pressure here. This is the closest I think I've seen him so far as we go through that infamous turn 11, but we've managed to do it safely. I think if there's too many cars ahead, that's where the issues start to come about, but when it's a little bit of a lesser number of cars, they seem to cope a little bit better. And Josh Wood is still there. He's not in the mix for any major points, but he's in 5th place, so he'll be happy to get some more points on the board again. As we can see, McDonald now looking to make a move into turn 1. He's a little bit too far back. He's just easing the brakes, trail braking into turn 1, and he's got Ecker, and he's made that look easy. He's just absolutely sent it up the inside there, and Ecker looks like he's struggling to get the power down on that outside. Maybe a little bit of a dirty line there, Toby, but McDonald is now on the podium, and he's going to be looking for 2nd.
Fantastic stuff from Craig McDonald. Really strong bounce back from him in the championship, because he won a very good race in Sepang following the mistakes been made by Josh Wood to take himself out of the race. Virtual safety car
safety car boards
on
and flags.
what looks like the final lap for a final lap showdown. McDonald is only half a second behind Olav Odvin, so it will be a final lap showdown between the Norwegian and the Brit for the runners-up spot. But yeah, Craig McDonald won. Really handled the race well, and Sepang once Josh Wood disappeared. I think that was actually the last time you spoke with us in the commentary box. We witnessed this man win that race together, and since then he had an engine failure in Tokyo, and I believe things did not go his way. He collided with his brother, didn't he, in Bahrain last time out, so been a bad run for Craig McDonald over the last couple of races, but evidently the pace is still there for him, and he's been overshadowed a little bit by his brother since season 5, so this is good for Craig McDonald. This is very confidence inspiring, and this will get him back into the championship conversation a little bit, but can he pick up an extra few points? We'll have to wait and see, because Elliot Hall is rounding out the final few corners with an absolutely dominant drive. He's dropped off a few seconds at the end, but it doesn't matter. It's a second victory of the season for Elliot Hall. Absolutely huge congratulations to the rookie, who firmly puts his name as the championship favourite at the midway point, and this is the point of the season we start to see the true championship challengers, and I think anyone at this point would put Elliot Hall as their favourite. Olav Odven does come home in P2, Craig McDonald will land in P3, but that is a huge day in the championship for Elliot Hall, Craig. His nearest man, Jack Tolchard, finishes outside of the points. His next nearest man, Marcus Townend, finishes outside of the points. That is a huge day in the office for the rookie.
Oh, absolutely massive. The fact that Craig McDonald is his closest competitor in the championship and in the points just cements that for Elliot Hall. He's going to be overjoyed by that performance. Looking down the rest of the field, obviously Odvin and McDonald were battling away with Ecker to finish 2nd, 3rd and 4th. They didn't change. Josh Wood back in the points after his win at the start of the season, comes home in 5th. Callum Spencer, as I said earlier in the race, fantastic result for him, getting up all the way from 21st to 6th place with Razilov, and Cantwell not able to make a charge behind him. Philip Blum in the points as well, he'll be happy with that, and Josh Martin takes Tom McDonald's precious 10th place off him at the end there to get the final point for Simstaff, who will be a little bit disappointed. They've been doing okay in the championship so far. Sorry, okay, I mean they're winning it. Maybe not after today, but yeah, they'll be disappointed by just getting the 1 point on the board. And Tom McDonald, who you said had been overshadowing his brother, wasn't able to put anything together today, and he finished just outside the points in 11th place.
Second page, we can see Marcus Townend lines up P12. Kevin Jacobs completes a move from 22nd up into 13th. He'll be happy with that performance, but won't be happy that it is his younger rookie teammate putting the manners on him. Andrew Pavia P14. Jonathan Carrera, he'll have to wait another week for some points. It's only P15. Craig Evans 16th, gets away with that spin at the end. Jack Tolchard. Something must have happened to Tolchard at the end, because he's P17 by the end of it, and then you have our DNFs of Byrne, Lennon, McAllister, etc. Moving on to the standings, we said it was a big day in the office, Craig, but look at that. 80 points. The nearest man is 50 points. It's a 30-lap lead at the midway point for Elliot Hall. And the ironic thing is we haven't seen a dominant performance in the championship at this stage since his teammate Kevin Jacobs pulled this off in season number 4. Could this be the passing of the torch? Jack Tolchard, Marcus Townend retained their positions despite their performances today, but Craig McDonald moved himself up into 1 point of that. And I know it's a 30-point gap, Craig, but the ISR AIC can throw anything up, and all we need is an Elliot Hall DNF and a Jack Tolchard win, and he's right back in that conversation.
That's it. All you've got to do is go and speak to Josh Wood. We thought he was going to be the runaway guy at the start of the season, pole and win, pole in race 2, and then he hasn't scored points since then until today. So anything can happen, but Elliot Hall just has to ride this wave for as long as he can. And 30 points is a good buffer, but like you say, one bad result or two bad results, and it can be eradicated in no time at all. But there's no real standout teams behind that. Everybody else is quite spread out. As we're on to the second page of standings now, we've got Byrne, Evans, Lennon, all failing to score points today and having a tough time in the office. And Kevin Jacobs, as you say, is having to play second fiddle to his young teammate. He is all the way down in 14th. And then we've got the likes of Callum Spencer, who's got some good points on the board today, moving himself up into 17th in the championship. So he'll be happy with that after being down in the lower reaches before today's event. But the only one we've got to think of is Jonathan Carrero. I don't think he's still not scored any points so far this season, so he'll be disappointed with that. And Colin McAllister as well, he was one of the ones that had issues at turn 11. He's only on 1 point. So there's a lot of racing still to do. Like I said, this is the halfway point, so we've got another 5 races to go here, and there's a lot to fight for in both the drivers and the team's championship. Just because Hall's got a 30-point lead, as we said, anything can happen, and is it Murray Walker that says it usually does?
Exactly that. It is the halfway point is here, of course. We are over the halfway, and the first half of the season has come to a close. But everything we have just done up until this point, Craig, we've now got to do it again. And if Elliot Hall can score 80 points in 5 races, who's to say someone like Jack Tolchard or even Jonathan Carrera can't do the same in the next few races? If Jonathan Carrera wins every race from here on out, he still is mathematically able to win the championship. So that's how close the AIC is. Nemesis Racing Team, as we say, it was Simstaff leading the way coming into this. They only score a single point, which means Nemesis Racing succeed them and take first place in the championship for the first time since they won the championship in Season 4. And the bells back at Maranello, as they say, will be ringing. They'll be hoping that is a good omen. Scuderia Alitalia is behind them with 62 points. They've fallen off a little bit this weekend with no points scored. Team Disconnect 53, just ahead of Macca Motorsport, following a good carry from Craig here today. JR Mobile 1 have moved up a little bit as well, within range, 2 points behind. 6 points down from Macca to Norwegian, with only 4 points between them and JR Mobile. And then everyone is fairly close, but a double DNF for CGM Motorsport, a pretty poor result for Northern Lights Racing, and only points scored by Callum Spencer leaves 3 pretty respectable teams, Craig, fighting for the scraps at the bottom.
Yeah, those guys, those teams won't be happy with their performances so far. But like you said, there's still 5 more races to go. There's a lot of points on offer, and some of these teams have to kind of regroup now and see what they can do. There has been some pace in the car for some of these guys. It's just trying to find it, and a little bit of luck as well. Luck goes a long way in these kind of championships, and a few of them have been lacking on the luck so far. But it's been pretty even keel. And Nemesis and Elliot are the only people to win more than one race out of those that have won a race. So as much as dominant as he is, there is still a quite level playing field, and it'll be interesting to see how the final 5 races pan out.
100%. The second half of the season begins next time out in Hockenheim in Germany. Last time we raced there, we crowned the champion. We won't crown a champion, but we might write a story in the chapter, or write a chapter in the story of crowning that champion by the end of the season. Make sure you don't miss it. Make sure you dare to join us. Let's see how part 2 plays out. Will it be Elliot Hall? Will it be someone else? Until then, goodbye.